The following film was produced, written, and directed by Warren Adam, Jackson Steets, and Evan Wright.
The case that will be discussed is Hurley versus the City of Niagara Falls. This case stems off of the legal concept of lost property. According to the Legal Information Institute of Cornell Law School, common law defines lost property as personal property that was unintentionally left by its true owner. The legal framework behind this case is the case hinged on Article 7b of the Personal Property Law, which stipulates that any person who finds lost property valued at $10 or more must, within 10 days, either return it to the owner or report and deposit the property with local police. Failure to comply with these provisions does not explicitly negate the finder's rights to the property, but the dissenting opinion in this case argued that such failure should preclude the finder from asserting rights under this statute.
In this case, Edward Hurley, while performing construction work for Mr. and Mrs. Maraca, found a significant sum of money hidden in their home. Instead of following the legal requirement to report the find within 10 days, Hurley took the money home with him. Later, he attempted to spend the money but was unsuccessful. The Maracas eventually initiated legal action against Hurley for conversion, but the courts initially dismissed the case as premature. The money was eventually turned over to authorities more than 2 years after Hurley found it.
Edward Hurley, while remodeling the Maracas' basement, discovered $4,990 hidden behind a block in a cabinet. This sum of money in 1962 is equivalent to $51,607, which is a 934% increase in inflation. Upon finding the money, Hurley informed the Maracas, who denied any knowledge or ownership of the money. With mutual agreement, Hurley was to secure the money at Niagara Falls Air Force Base for safekeeping, although he did not follow through with this plan.
The Maracas informed Hurley that the discovered money was not theirs and expressed their confusion about its presence in their home. In response, Hurley suggested that, for safekeeping, he would place the money in the safe at the Niagara Falls Air Force Base, where he was a full-time employee. The Maracas agreed to this arrangement, trusting Hurley to secure the money until its rightful owner could be determined or further action taken.
Hurley, however, did not take the money to the base, but rather took it home with him. Sometime thereafter, apparently long after the 10-day statutory period had elapsed, he unsuccessfully attempted to spend some of the money in a department store. This action further complicated the situation and raised questions about his intentions and his actions regarding the money that was found. His decision to keep the money secret and his subsequent attempt to use it for personal gain added layers of ethical and legal complexity to the case. This behavior not only undermined the trust and integrity expected in such situations, but also exacerbated the legal disputes surrounding the rightful ownership of the money.
On cross-examination, Hurley testified, "Did someone representing the store call the police department?"
Yes, sir.
"What did you tell the police officer in reference to this money?"
I didn't tell him anything, sir. I asked him if I could contact my attorney.
"Did the police officer ask you where you got the money or found the money?"
Yes, he asked me where I got the money from.
"What did you tell the police officer?"
I told him at the time that I might have got it in change.
"May have got it in change?"
In change, cashing a check. The main issue in the case was whether Hurley's failure to comply with the statutory requirement to report the found money within 10 days affected his rights to the property. The court ruled that Hurley's failure to comply with the statute precluded him from asserting any rights to the money he found. Despite arguments that the statute did not explicitly provide for such consequences, the court held that allowing someone who intentionally violated the property rights to profit from their wrongdoing was against principles of justice and common sense.
The court also considered whether the Maracas had superior rights to the money under the statute. They concluded that even if compliance with the statute was not necessary to obtain rights, the Maracas' rights were superior to Hurley's. They interpreted the term employee broadly to encompass individuals hired to perform tasks, such as Hurley in this case. Therefore, Hurley, as an employee, had a duty to deliver any found property to his employer, which in this case was the Maracas.
Ruling. The court affirmed that Hurley's failure to comply with the statute precluded him from asserting any rights to the found money. Additionally, they held that the Maracas had superior rights to the money under the statute, based on Hurley's status as an employee and his duty to deliver found property to his employer. Therefore, the order of the Appellate Division was reversed, and the judgment of the New York Supreme Court, Niagara County, was reinstated. Note that this is New York's changes to the underlying common law rules and do not align with federal government's common law.
The information we gathered was from casetext.com and Cornell Law. Our legal citations are as followed below.